guys, it's Dana and it's time to talk about money. And in this video, what are we talking about? We're talking about emergency funds. That's right. So we're going to talk about some hacks to build your emergency fund no matter what your income is. So let's get to it. Okay, so emergency funds, they are the ultimate in financial safety nets, okay? They just, game changer, complete game changer. Everybody needs one. Probably everybody wants one. Not everybody has one. So how can we all get one and make it happen and have an emergency fund so that we too can have money when things happen, because they will happen. I just spent $3,000 on car repairs this month. Luckily I had a car emergency fund, right? So let's get to it. So first of all, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. I do believe you can build an emergency fund, and let's start with a mini emergency fund. So that can be $100, $200, $500, however much money you can get going. And this just means that you are going to earmark a bank account, something, a high yield savings account, whatever it is, whatever kind of mechanism you want to use, but you have something that is designated as your emergency fund account. And it has to be something that you can access, but not access easily. Like, you definitely don't want this to be something that you can just keep transferring money out of very simply, okay? So it should be something like, you know, we have an Ally account. If you have some kind of, whatever account you use, if it's some kind of something that you will be penalized if you take money out or transfer money out like too often. So if, like, for us, it's like, I think we're allowed 4 times a month or something to transfer money out, which we try not to do. But if we need to, we can, but that's not like every day. Like, not every other day can I go in and transfer money out without getting like a fee or something associated with some kind of pain. There has to be some friction, as they say in the marketing world. Like, you want there to be friction to stop yourself from quickly taking money out. So it can just be a savings account, maybe a savings account at a bank separate from your regular bank account. That way you can't, easily transfer around. You'd have to write a check to yourself and deposit it into your other account, wait a few days for it to clear if you need that money. So get a mini emergency account started, meaning that you just have it designated somewhere in some account as your emergency fund, and you have some kind of money in there, whatever that is to you. Whether it's $100 minimum, just get that money in there and get it started. Next is to automate your savings. So now that we have this account set up, now it's time to get some money going into it. And the point here is to practice putting money in. So if you automate it with your direct deposit through your employer, that would be a great thing, because then you don't even have to touch it. It just automatically, when you get paid $50, $80, $100, $5 goes into this account automatically. And now we're going to practice that, the muscle of just getting money going into there every 2 weeks, every month, whatever the frequency is that you get paid. Just have something going in so that way you can get that started, that flow of money going into it. And really treat this as like it's a non-negotiable bill. Like, you owe this money, and if you don't pay it, the collectors are calling you. Ugly image, but maybe you just got to try to make it as if this is money that you owe. You owe yourself this, and if you don't pay, man, you're in trouble. You're going to get reamed out by your partner, your spouse, your mother, whoever is scary to you, your mother-in-law, I don't know. So just, you want to get the money going. Tax refunds, maybe you're getting one, maybe you're not, but let's try to use some windfalls here strategically. So when you get an extra bonus or some extra money, then it's not extra, it's going into your emergency fund. So try to, that's it. Just strategically use any windfall you get of any kind and be like, oh, that money came in, it's going right over to our emergency fund. And try not to think of it as extra spending money, because then it's just gone. Then you don't have it. And that ain't no good. We want to build the emergency fund. It's the name of the game here. Okay, so obviously we want to track any leaks in your budget. Anything that is leaking money. Are you purchasing or anything you shouldn't be, like a subscription that you don't use anymore, that you didn't even know you were subscribed, or you're spending money. Let me think of a current leak that I might have had. We had a subscription to a streaming service that I thought we had canceled. And then I looked at our subscription list and I was like, wow, we've had this and we don't even have the app like on our TV. Like we're not even using it. And it was like, I don't know, 7 months and I was paying for this. And we weren't even using it because I thought I had already canceled it. So there could be leaks. Maybe you're buying more convenience items than you realized. Maybe you have subscriptions on Amazon. I actually subscribe to toothpaste on Amazon because we have 6 people in our house. Everybody needs their own tube of toothpaste, and within their little container that I got at the dollar store with their toothbrush and their toothpaste. And it seems like every month we need a tube of toothpaste for somebody. So I had it automatically. I set up subscription, so it just comes automatically. But if you sometimes I have to go through and audit that Amazon subscription list because there might be like vitamins or things on there that I don't need, and I can push it back to be delivered 6 months from now. So audit your subscription list to make sure you still need the products and that you need them now, or maybe you can push it off till later, or maybe you can just like cancel them completely. So that's a leak in your budget that you want to try to plug up and get rid of. So that way you have some extra money to go towards your savings account, to your emergency fund. So we've got the account, we've got the money automatically going in there. We've plugged up the leaks. Now we've got to work on increasing our income. Oh, and I hate when people say this, like, oh, it's like so hard, right? Like, just get some side hustles, extra income. It's like not always, it's hard. It's not always so easy, right? It's a difficult part of the process, but it's important to think on it. Okay. Think about possibly, do you need to look for another position, or do you need to try to do something at work that might help to give you a promotion? Or do you need to start selling stuff on eBay and looking around your house? I feel like so many of us do have things that are valuable in our homes that we don't really use and that can be sold that other people want. Maybe that's even just doing some kind of yard sale outside your house, and a big garage sale, get stuff together and try to bring in some extra money that way. Because trust me, there's going to be some people who want the things that you have for sure. People make a living out of it, of going around hunting for things at garage sales and reselling them on eBay. So if you don't want to be bothered with the hassle of reselling on eBay, then maybe you want to just do the garage sale and those people will come and purchase it, and you'll get a little bit of extra cash. Every dollar counts. It really does. So every dollar that you make that's extra, put it towards your emergency fund. All right, make it a family goal, perhaps. I mean, I don't know if you have kids, how old are your kids? My 14-year-old boys are working. They want to work, but it was their decision. I'm surprised how young kids can work, but they have jobs and they like their jobs, and they are making pretty good money actually for being 14-year-olds. But, maybe you can have them also, like they can start, building their own emergency funds or helping to contribute to your family emergency fund. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, as family units, you're all working together. So, and make it kind of fun with your kids. If your kids are younger, maybe you can just be like, hey, we have this goal and we're doing this. So maybe you want to make a chart that's visual in the house that your younger kids can help you with, to be like, yes, we've saved an extra $50 this week, write $50 on the chart, or however you want to do it. But like, you can kind of make it fun. And it does help when there's more people involved as far as support and motivation and to celebrate the wins. So, your kids don't necessarily have to work and contribute money to your emergency fund, but they could still support you morally and spiritually, and maybe they build their own emergency fund along with you building your family emergency fund. But if you make it a group effort, is what I'm trying to say, it's easier to stay motivated, because you don't want to let those other people down within your family unit that are helping to to sort of pump you up and rally you. And so share it with someone else, right? Share it with others that you have this goal, because if you keep it in the dark, then it's easier to fall off the wagon or to quit. So and involve others, or even if it's just leave a comment down below. If you're building your emergency fund, share it with those within this community. So building an emergency fund, it's not about like huge changes. It's just those small incremental gains, right? You're just like trying to slowly build. And I really believe emergency funds can take as long and sometimes maybe even longer than it took you to pay off debt. If you've paid off debt and now you're working to fully fund an emergency fund, I mean, it can be a slog, just like the debt payoff is. If you haven't paid off your debt yet and you're trying to build the emergency fund, at least you're still in the mindset. But for some of those of us that paid off the debt, like I found this to be true. It's like the debt was paid off, and then you're like, woo, we did it, it's done. And then like, oh, we gotta need another year of living like this to build up our fully funded emergency fund. Like, what the heck, man? I thought we were finished. And the kids are all like, yeah, we did it. We paid off the debt. Celebration time. And then you're like, yeah. All right, well, we're right back to what we were doing before because we got to build our emergency fund. And then it's just this big letdown. So so keep that in mind if you're in the midst of paying off debt and you're building your starter emergency fund. You might need to maintain that mentality that we called it the broke, we're in broke mode. So we would have to maintain that same lifestyle or mentality to after we're done paying off the debt in order to fully fund our emergency fund so we can be in the best financial shape that we can be. So like I said, it can be a while. It can take a while to build that emergency fund. So have some patience and realize that it might take some time. It doesn't matter what like I said, it doesn't matter what your income level is. It doesn't matter if whatever you're saving, $50 a month or $50 a week. The point is to not dip into it if you don't have to. It's there for emergency funds, for emergency items, of course. If you have an emergency and you need the money, but an emergency is not like all of a sudden you really want to go buy a new pair of Uggs. That's not an emergency. It might feel like an emergency when it's like 10 degrees outside and your feet are cold. So I believe in you. You can build this emergency fund. If you're doing a no-spend month like I'm doing this month, then maybe that's what you're doing with your money is you're putting it towards that emergency fund. And so yeah, you got this. All right. Okay, guys. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video. And I totally have new camera settings, but I don't know if it's made any difference. So I am constantly trying to adjust and fix and improve my camera settings. I feel like I just can't quite get it right. So we'll see what it looks like when I go to edit this. Okay. Bye, guys.